Hello and welcome to my review of the Kill Team Salvation box set for Warhammer 40,000 from Games Workshop. Now this Kill Team box set was released I think the 13th of January this year, so good month ago, and cost me £80. I think I did get a 20% discount off of it. It would have cost me about £64. Recently, I think just this week, Games Workshop have allowed everyone to pre-order both of the forces in this box set, with the Kill Team Scout Squad costing £40 and the Blades of Cain costing £45. So both of the units in this set costing £5 more than the suggested retail price of the set itself in its entirety. And the set itself, you get a little bit of scenery, but it's not the sweetener. You get a nice softback book though, you get a load of cards, you get the tokens. You don't get a board to play on, which does kind of suck. I think you do get one of the boards with the scenery set, which they were also selling for, I want to say, about £80. So to get the full kind of kit, it was about 150, 160 or so for both the scenery, which had all of the kind of offshore rig pieces and gantries and silos and things, and then this set separately. I'm not sure about the way they handled it. I think both of the units in this set are good enough, deserving enough to have all of the big scenery thrown in, and I was really surprised that they broke it down piecemeal. The scenery sold out quite quick. I'm not sure whether you can get that anymore, and this set also was pulled from pre-order quite quickly too. However, you know, if you do collect just Space Marines or collect Eldar, then you know, that's great that you haven't had to wait too long, only about a month before getting the miniatures separately. Although, as I've always said, I would much rather Games Workshop release, you know, the models, the units in these box sets individually at the same time of them. I'm not a big fan of sort of the paywall thing. Let's face it, most people are going to use these in their 40k armies, not for Kill Team. Now, let's talk about the units that are included. So this is our first sort of time looking at the scouts. I do have reviews of both of these units, and I even have a little separate video about you know, the scenery pieces that were included. One of the members did request that, and you know, and I try to fulfill sort of members' requests for videos. I think another member wanted to see my entire watch collection, and you know, I've done that recently too. So let's have a look at the scouts then. Fantastic kit. I think £40 is, well, I would have preferred 35 or even 30. Considering that Primaris infiltrators or incursors are actually cheaper. You know, they're £37.50 for a unit of 10, and when you look at it that way, why are just normal sort of Space Marine scouts, bigger Space Marine scouts, Primaris scouts, more expensive than their kind of Primaris named equivalents? You know, if anything, I think they should have followed the same price as those, if not be a little bit cheaper. You know, if they brought these out, this set, for £35, it would have been absolutely fantastic. It's just a good job that the kit is nice. You get lots of spare parts, lots of ways to customize these, loads of different weapon options. You get everything from the shotguns to the bolt guns, which I don't think I even used a single bolt gun. The only bolt gun I used was one on this scout, which was just, you know, over his shoulder on a strap. But you can equip them with the bolt guns, and the bolt guns are bigger than your standard Space Marine bolt guns. These, I would say that these are Primaris variants, so not bolt rifles, but actually proper bolt guns. You get loads of combat blades, grenades, pouches. You don't have to use them all. You get the tarps or bedding or whatever you want to call them that can go on the top of their, I'd say mini power plant venting thing. It's not really a power plant. It's probably they've probably got a much smaller sort of life support system thing going on, because it's not power armor, hence why their saves aren't as good. You get, of course, your 2 heavy bolters, you get 2 missile launchers, you get 2 snipers. I would have liked to have seen the kit have more sniper rifles. That would have been great. You get your sergeant, and you get a number of shotguns, and you know, I'd probably say 2 of those grappling hooks, but you can mix and match the arms around and things. Yeah, it's a decent kit. I like it. Whether it's worth sort of £2.50 more than the normal Primos Infiltrators and Cursors is up to you. Personally, I think these look better than both of those other units, but there we go. They're quite old school. Then the scenery kit, before we move over to the Striking Scorpions, that is just, in my opinion, I just think it's an afterthought. We didn't really need it in this set. You know, if this set was £10 cheaper and we got rid of that scenery, I'd be fine for that. You know, if it was like 70 or even 65 just for these 2 units, and then you had the tokens and the book and things, I'd be okay with that. You know, the omission of these scenery pieces in this set would not bother me if they just left it out. They are harder plastic, cheaper, made in China, as your usual Games Workshop scenery is. They're hard to work with, the mould lines are awful and they're hard to get rid of, and the detail just isn't up there with these you know, standard miniatures left and right. So perhaps they could have included those little scenery items in, you know, the scenery kit itself. Then moving on to the Striking Scorpions. Not as good as the Scout Squad, in my opinion, and that's mainly because you're really getting 2 sets of 5 twins. They've all got tactical rocks, which the Scouts don't, which is odd, you know, for Space Marines to not have tactical rocks, but all of these Striking Scorpions do have them. Their saving grace is the Exarch has a number of options. And if you've built the Striking Scorpions, if you've followed the live streams and you built them similar to myself, then you will end up with no twins. You know, you can use the melee weapons and pistols. You can swap them about. It doesn't really matter which model you put them on. Only try and put them in a cool pose, I guess. But they are an upgrade. They're bigger than the older metal and dare I say it, the Finecast versions. It's nice to see upgraded Eldar models wherever they may appear, still holding out for plastic fire dragons and warp spiders and potentially swooping hawks with their nice new Exarchs and Phoenix Lords. You know, there's still quite a few Phoenix Lords that they should really update, such as Azuman, Fugan, Baroth, Karandras even. Really surprised that we didn't get a new Phoenix Lord, Karandras, with the arrival of these Striking Scorpions, because we did for both the Dark Reapers with the new Morgan Ra model, although it was pricey, and of course remember we also got the new Jane Zar for the Howling Banshees. So where is Karandras? I mean, that's a good question considering he is a Striking Scorpion Phoenix Lord. That's quite a pertinent question to ask considering his chosen aspect. But still, it's still an alright kit. They've priced these Scorpions at £45, which I do think is well overpriced when you compare these to, well, just next door to them, the Scouts. In the grand scheme of things though, Games Workshop could have priced them at the same price point of Howling Banshees, which is a very underwhelming kit and includes far few spare parts than the Striking Scorpions one. But if they did that, then they would have been charging £37.50 for 5 Striking Scorpions, which is way too much. But as it stands, you know, if you got these 10 at 45, one and done. There's no reason why you'd need to buy a second set and have 20 of the little Scorpions or anything like that. You know, at least if you get your 10, you could build sort of 5 You could build two 5-man Scorpion squads and have an Exarch in one, and that's it. And, you know, put one in a Falcon and have one on foot, or just combine them together and have 10 of them in your deployment. So that's an interesting way that Games Workshop have sort of sold them. Instead of banking on you buying 2 units of 5 for £37.50, they really want you to pony up the higher price point, you know, the £45, for all 10 of them straight away. Whether you need 10 or not is up to you. So on the whole, it's an all right kit, especially if you were able to get a discount, you know, like a 20% discount. I was looking forward to these, and they have fulfilled my expectations. I will say, I did pick up this set for like 60 odd pounds or so, and to get these 2 brand new units and minis updates from older kits has fulfilled my expectations. I'm not a big fan of Games Workshop paywalling brand new minis and units behind like box sets and things, but I think in this case it wasn't too bad. You know, it's been about a month since they were released, so we haven't had to wait too long since their individual release, and I'm glad I did pick them up in the set, because that has saved me a little bit of money over buying the 2 sets individually. My favourite model in the set could be a question. I would probably go for this Scout with the shotgun with the rebreather mask. You know, that's brand new. I mean, we've had Striking Scorpions before, we've had Scouts with missile launchers and heavy bolters and all those kind of things, and we've had Space Marines firing their sort of grappling hooks, but we've never really had a Space Marine with the rebreather tubing attached to their mouth, and I think that's a great standout model and sculpt for this set. So that's my favourite model in this, and I just would like to see more shotguns with the, you know, the shells on the top. And the Striking Scorpions themselves as a kit was better than I expected. I was expecting another sort of Howling Banshee kit where you got hardly any spare parts and no options to pose them really, but in the grand scheme of things you can tweak them and make them look quite unique. What do you guys think of the Kill Team Salvation set and these 2 units on the whole? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.